Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this very special edition of the RemiX Morning Show here at Black Power Media. I'm Jared Ball, and we are gathered with our BPM comrades and broader family to pay a special tribute as we got word came down yesterday of the passing of our dear brother and comrade Abdus Lukman. Good morning to everybody, to our crew here. Big shout out to Sister May for that beautiful and quickly produced intro. And Ear Doctor and others will be joining us as well. But good morning, everybody. And I'll just we just wanted to have a time for us all to take to chat this morning, reflect on our brother, and so here we are.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning and happy birthday.
Thank you so much. 38 and still, doing it.
All right. Well, we don't want to start off this special tribute with lies like that, but yes, definitely happy birthday to Kamal. It's good to see everybody, albeit under these circumstances, but we have to work through it.
I'll just jump in. I think everybody, it was very unexpected. Nobody knew. So we are all sort of taken aback and shocked by his sudden passing. I didn't know Baba Lukman that well, per se. Like, he was somebody who I met through, I would say, media organizing and doing work. But I could tell from the times in which we got to interact just how committed and beautiful that brother was. Heart is just sort of broken for Jackie. They expressed a sense of true love that you don't get to see anymore. And I think one thing I think is beautiful is that those folks found each other later in life and got to love each other so deeply for the time that they had together. I think, Baba Lukman, again, politically, I think the thing that for me that's so beautiful about him and what makes his loss so tragic is Baba Lukman, like all of us, was a work in progress and was willing to show it and be there and talk through issues and discuss. So I think he's just a very big loss for our entire community. That brother's a working class brother from Philadelphia, and for him to be able to sort of gleam and get and have the politics and want to express and share the way he has done and the way he did makes, again, just the loss all the more tragic. And so I just want to say I'm so deeply sorry for Jackie, for your loss, and for our loss as a community, because that brother was loved. So
right on. And just it was Newark, New Jersey. That he was from, just to clarify. But anyway, we are joined by the full crew here, or a large part. Kim Brown, Kalanji Changa, Dr. CBS, Dr. Chile, Two Black, of course, is in the building. As I said, Ear Doctor will join us, and Sister May is in the background as well. But yeah, there's we have no set plan here, but does anybody want to share any thoughts or reflections as we did get news in the middle of the morning yesterday, not long after we went off air with the RemiX. Anyway, anybody?
Kim, your mic is muted. Kim.
Mike, yeah, Kim, you're muted.
Okie dokie. There we go. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to say, I didn't know Abdus outside of this space, but I was very glad that I was acquainted with him through Black Power Media, because I don't really know any of y'all, not in real life, but I'm very blessed and fortunate to have got to know y'all. And Abdus was that kind of same brother who had brilliant politics. He had amazing energy. And, I know Jackie, I've known Jackie about the past year and some change. And what I know about Jackie is that the brother that pulled Jackie had to be a dope brother. So the fact that he had his wife as, you know, being who she is, that was a reflection as to who he was. And you know, when people pass away suddenly like this, it's sometimes harder to process and to deal with, as opposed to someone who may have had a long-term sickness, or who may have been, you know, sick for a while. I'm just stunned. Like you know, Jared, I was telling you before we went live, like I saw your email about a tribute to Baba Lukman. I'm like, I'm confused. Like, it wasn't his birthday just a couple weeks ago? And I mean, because I'm like, well, why are we tributing? And I read it, and I had to like read it like 2 and 3 times, because I just could not believe that this man who had shared all of his brilliant thoughts and his energy with us here on the RemiX Morning Show for the past, you know, couple months, that he was gone like that. And my heart is just broken for Jackie, because to echo what Kamal said, I mean, they really are the epitome of radical Black love, and it really gave me hope, you know, that that person could possibly be waiting for you after 40, after 45. So it was an honor to see Jackie and Abdus together, in the way that they just displayed their love for one another, and displayed their love for our people and for our freedom. So my heart is just broken for Jackie and the Lukman family. And like I said on Twitter, today we are all Lukman Nation.
Right on. Admittedly out of context for me personally, but I think it's great that Sister Yeli is here and is offering up another way of approaching this that many of us might need. So please go ahead, Sister.
Hi, everyone. This is definitely a sad occasion. Our hearts are heavy. I'm right along with you, Kim, and everyone, just shocked. And I just thought to do what I do, which is pray. And I would try to, I guess, imagine, you know, where Baba is. And I think that's something that we wonder when we lose people in the physical who we care about. And I didn't know him beyond this space either, or until this space. But I just moved in, but I did, I don't know if you all can see, I lit him a candle, and he's got, there's a glass of water there for libation. So I just wanted to offer like a verbal libation of prayer. So, so in the name of all that is good and holy and positive, in the name of our Creator, the connective tissue to all creation, we want to say thank you. Thank you for being allowed to share space with Baba Abdus. Thank you for the example that he has set of personal and political growth and development. Thank you for the example he has shown us of what a freedom fighter looks like in our time. Thank you for the example that he's shown us of Black love. Thank you for Jackie. We pray that Jackie has serenity, that Jackie and the extended family and community and all of the organizations and groups that Baba Abdus contributed to, that they keep in mind, that they bear in their hearts with their grief and their missing and their longing for him, that they bear in their hearts what our ancestors understood long before anyone else, that energy is neither created nor destroyed. And that Baba Lukman cannot be with us in this physical presence anymore, that we will not necessarily hear the kindness in his voice, the sharpness of his new analyses in this space anymore, but Baba continues. That Baba Abdus will walk with us, that we will continue to struggle in his name and the name of our other freedom fighters, that Baba Abdus gave love and received love while he was here, that Baba continued to rise in power and peace, that he be received with love, embraced by his ancestors and his spiritual community, that he continue to be proud of us and the work we will continue to do. We are just deeply in gratitude in this moment for the work that he has done, for the legacy that he has left, We will use that to energize us as we seek resolution, as we seek peace. We say thank you. We say adupueo. We say in all of the languages, in all of the sacred tongues, we say thank you. We pray this in the name again of all that is good, positive, and holy. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate that. And for those asking, we certainly appreciate you wanting to and already sharing your support. When we hear from Sister Jackie and the family specifically how they'd like that handled, we will certainly facilitate and look to do more to redistribute resources as much as we can to support their entire family, and we will alert everyone in our BPM family of what next steps we are informed of as soon as we get that. But so we certainly appreciate that, and we will, as I said, we'll definitely keep everybody up to date. Anybody else? Kalanji, Too Black. Neither of you have said anything yet. Did you all want to say a few words? Have any thoughts?
Yeah. I appreciate the brother sharing the space with us. He's I appreciate him being a regular brother. You know what I mean? A brother who was just trying to do something. Yeah. It's difficult because of the fact that we set out on this whole BPM thing, and they were one of the first folks to come on board, and the love that they had for each other, it's honorable, and I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to just.
It's all good, man.
I'll come back.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate you, Kalanji. I hear you. He was definitely. I mean, the Lukmans were absolutely. I think they may have been after we agreed to do this. I think they were the first people that I reached out to. At least I think so. Among the first, easily. And the immediate response was an excited, text followed up by phone calls. Lukman was, Baba was like, because I think he saw that we had announced it, and he said something like, "I was wondering if he was going, check in, I was wondering if he was going to get it." And I was like, "Of course he's going to get the call." And that was the other thing, I appreciate Yeli because I mean, Jackie and Baba are certainly spiritual people, so I appreciate that you brought that in here. But they're also comedians, and Baba had plenty of jokes on the regular, so I anyway. So for my 2 cents, I mean, they were definitely among the first that I wanted to reach out to. Had known him, had the pleasure of knowing him for, I don't know, it's been a few years now, and in and around DC at the various activist spots, and so yeah. Anyway, it was perfectly natural that they would be involved, and anyway, I don't even know what to say, and my heart goes out to Jackie and their entire family. It was terrible hearing this news, and trying to figure out how we're gonna I don't know, rebuild or reconstitute, reframe, whatever, and keep it moving. But Anyway,
yeah, I can.
Yeah, please go
I
ahead.
can hop in. Yeah, it's tough. As several people have echoed, I didn't know him that well. I don't. I say that, but at the same time, I think about a lot of us just wander onto this channel, just looking for knowledge. I think from that perspective, I think a lot of us did know him very well. You know, maybe we don't know him personally in some cases, but a lot of us wander onto this channel just looking to understand the world, and that's what BPM has been for a lot of us. And Lukman's are a foundation to that. You know, we're trying to get away from a lot of the BS that we're fed in the mainstream, and I think what I appreciated about him was, as has been echoed before, is he was just a regular brother, and when you're trying to figure this out, that's what you need. You need somebody that's relatable. You need somebody that helps you feel like you're being brought into a family. It's okay if you don't know something, if you're not clear on something, you know, whether it was a certain terminology or a certain history about Black people. And I think that they offer that perspective on every show. You can walk in on whatever level of knowledge you have, even if that's absolutely nothing, and feel at home. So from that perspective, I do feel like I knew him, even though I've never actually been able to talk to him, you know, directly one-on-one. And I think that's what a lot of us feel, regardless of our level of personal touch, is that we are on screen, you know, all week in some cases, and we don't know the effect that we have on people just by getting on here and talking and saying whatever we can put together. And I know we all get on here with different struggles. We may not feel that we have it all figured out. But this shows that just by getting on here and putting something together and giving people the best you have, giving Black people all the love you have, I think that's touching. So I know when someone's lost, it's never just the person that's lost. It's all the connections that person had. Nobody exists as an island. You know, human beings we touch everybody throughout our lifetime. So I don't only just send my condolences to him or the family, but I send my condolences to the whole BPM family, to all the people in the comments, because I know we've all been touched. So I just want to lift that up.
Right on. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you know, there is the it gets dragged out. I don't know, what for me feels like a contradiction of I met him, knew him a little bit, but we, you know, weren't in each other's inner circles, and built mostly around the political work and media. But at the same time, when you lose a comrade, you know, somebody you trying to, you know, lock arms with, you know, it's you know, painful, you know, and then just in general, even people we don't meet or don't work with, when we lose folks we see trying to do work that we want to support or that we know is in support of us, it's painful. So
yeah, I agree with all of you. Forgive me for my sensitivity every now and then. It seeps out, you know. Yeah, I'm like, you know, I feel like for me, as you know, the echo to Black, man, it's like, you know, we're in each other's space at least 3 times a week. You know what I mean? And it's like we're learning about the dog, and Jackie's posting, you know, what Baba cooked for him, and talking all kinds of freaky stuff and all that, you know, just, you know, our antics and everything. So, you know, just seeing, you know, and like you all, I met him through BPM, you know what I mean? But it seems like one thing we say about revolution, what it takes in general population, what it takes to do in 20 years is 2 years in revolution. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 years in a movement because of the fact that everything's fast paced, everything is constant. You know, so you know, just having the opportunity to speak, You know, I think the last time I spoke with him after the show was last Thursday. You know, the one thing I found about him is that if he appreciated your work, he'll let you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing because of the fact that we all need encouragement with what it is we do. You know what I mean? Like Two Black said, no man is an island. You know what I mean? No woman is an island. You know, this is you know, it's part of our journey on this planet to embrace, to love. Che Guevara said revolution is an act of love. We do this because of the fact that we love our people. You know what I'm saying? I think you can feel the sincere difference in BPM and a lot of different platforms because of the fact that it's not just about who like us or not, because of the fact that, you know, sometimes we don't even like each other. You know what I mean? And that's real. You know what I mean? So definitely I miss I miss him already because of the fact that I know that we have a sister and a family that will experience pain, and I'm hoping that we can all embrace her, and that's the remixes, all of us, because of the fact that I think that again they are and were sincere with their efforts. You know what I mean? And that means more to me than a lot of things a lot of people I see. So, you know, held them up, man.
Absolutely. CBS, you want to?
Y'all. I'm gonna try my best. So hold on. Okay. If Kalanji could ugly cry through it, I can do it too. All right. So we found out about this when we were filming my show yesterday. And so part of that show was going through like the highlights of season 1 of LDI, and the number 1 was having Jackie and Baba on to talk about oh my gosh, snot, y'all. That's the ugly cry. To talk about, you know, they came on and talked about their relationship. They were on twice. They came on once to talk about you know, in these tweets to talk about their Lukman Nation platform on Twitter, but then also they came on for a longer interview to talk about their relationship and excuse me, and struggle. So I'm so sorry, y'all, but I'm so heartbroken for Jackie, for our platform, excuse me, for myself. I really love the Lukmans. I really love everybody on our channel. And so I can't articulate how sad this is, but I'm glad that we have this platform, so we still have his words. We still have everything he was able to share with us. I'm glad to have had him on the show along with Jackie, and yeah. I just hope we keep the Lukman family and Jackie in our thoughts and prayers and lift them up, and continue to support them, because this is very very difficult. So that's all I can say, y'all.
No, appreciate you. Yeah, and again, folks, we appreciate you asking, and we are again going to stay in touch with the Lukman family. We have already let Jackie know that as soon as she or whoever is going to handle the organizing of any services or anything else, that whenever they have information, we will be in line to be contacted, and we will certainly make sure everybody here knows whatever they want to be known. And we will definitely be again marshaling as many resources as possible to shift over to them. Because of course, capitalism, of course, does prey on this process as well. So we're going to have to, be in line to help out there too. So,
and we're gonna celebrate too. You know what I mean? Again, this is the initial feeling and shock and all of that. We're gonna celebrate. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep it moving, and we're gonna make sure that that we do the best we can, and and everything's gonna be all right, man. It's just everything's always hard. That initial punch, he's a from what we know of him, our experience with him, he's definitely a good brother, and I pray that his family is definitely taken care of and embraced. I know that recently, as Kim spoke about, he celebrated a born day, and it was good to see his family embrace him. His daughter singing and all of that, all the things that they shared online. So we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna, RemiX Morning Show. This ain't gonna be a whole solemn show. We're gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad.
Man.
Yeah, we gonna make it happen, man, because that's what we do around here. So we definitely, we're gonna pay our tribute and our honor. Today's Kamal's birthday, which I know y'all don't really care, but we'll
and he thinks he's gonna get away from it too. He thinks he's gonna get away. He thinks he's getting a pass.
Nah, man. Where we from, you get beat downs on your born days. So,
yeah,
he's somewhere hiding, but it's all good. But yeah, we're gonna rock today, and we're gonna turn this thing up, and we're gonna get back in the groove. You know what I'm saying? And man, we appreciate y'all remixes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm again, I want to echo what CBS said as well, that I'm glad we have this collective. I'm glad that if we have to suffer a little more for having had the collective bring us into community with the brother, then it's so be it, because we're all here to help make this transition more passable for I think Jackie and all of us, and I think Kalonji, you make a good point. We'll figure this out and bounce back and as best we can, but anyway, I appreciate everybody, and certainly those in the chat, those who are on camera, those who are off, those who will be on. This is the more solemn, maybe commemorative moment for Baba. There will be others. And we will continue to lift him up in perpetuity and continue to have fun with that as well. Because anybody who did talk to the man one-on-one, offline, behind the scenes, knows the man had jokes. He stayed on some comedy, and I know where he is now. He's saying, where the joke's at, and, let's get to him. And, so we will.
And I'm mad I ain't get at him, because I had something for him on the real. You know what I mean? Because he called me a Muppet last time. He said there should be some Kalonji Muppet dolls. So you know what I'm saying? So, I can't get at him. You know what I mean? But I was ready for him. I was ready. So I Abdus. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna get away. We sad right now, but best believe Kamal don't hold no punches when it comes. One thing I can count on.
I'm trying to give it a few more seconds. Because I'm going to miss the sex talk. Something wrong, miss. He was a little freaky on there. The rest of y'all nerds and prudes. My man was letting it all hang out. I was learning some new techniques. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look at Kim smiling. Kim like, yeah, I was thinking about my beats.
what's making me smile, Kalanji, is I'm picturing you showing up to Baba Lukman's memorial with a Photoshop picture of him as like Freddie Jackson or something
We
crazy.
should all show up. We should all have underneath our shirts and the T-shirt, you know, the Photoshop Baba, you know. But yeah, I mean, and not only was he doing what Kamal was talking about, but he put the production element on it too. Like he produced media product to show and prove. Like he was like, you know, we had to, I mean, even we had to put the sensors on the joint. And BPM was you know, CBS was talking about the dashikis, like the dashikis had to form, you know, Voltron to be like, hold up, bro. like we barely getting them through with Kalanji, and then, you know, like you trying to get it.
Hey, you know it's bad when I said it was too much.
I mean, I couldn't even, you know, I couldn't even, you know, I know I'm pink now, but I pinked up, and, you know, I couldn't even make it through the whole MP3. I was like, oh, what is that? I was like, bah! I was like, oh my God. Anyway, anyway, the brother's gonna be missed, man.
If y'all don't mind, I'd like to call on the air, Dr. Man, because we need some. We need to switch gears a little bit to get back on track. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing a memorial service, but this ain't it. We just shouting them out right now. So let's get it popping.
Yo, real quick, I want to say a big up to Baba Luke, man. He was a cool Jersey brother as myself, and at the same time, that love had him.
Throw that in there.
Hey, you know, represent. But like you said, yo, he was a comedian, man. He gave props always on the music selection, and the dude had jokes. And I always appreciate that, because it's like we talk a lot of serious stuff, but we got to also have a balance. We can't be mad at the world all the time. We got to understand that things happen, but at the same time, we got to be light spirited and, you know, feel good about everything. So I say Asheo for that brother. Now let's go ahead and you know, do a little tribute to him and play a little music for him. Let's do that. All right.
On.
All right, cool.
Remix morning show.
Why should the black man in America concern himself, since we've been away from the African continent for 400 years? Why should we concern ourselves? What impact does what happened to them have upon us? Number one, first you have to realize that up until 1959, Africa was dominated by the colonial powers, and by the colonial powers of Europe having complete control over Africa. They projected the image of Africa negatively. They projected Africa always in a negative light. Jungles, savages, cannibals, nothing civilized. And naturally it was so negative until it was negative to you and me. And you and I began to hate it. We didn't want anybody to tell us anything about Africa, and much less call us an African. And in hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. You can't hate your origin and not end up hating yourself. You can't hate Africa and not hate yourself. And you show me one of these people over here who has been thoroughly brainwashed, who has a negative attitude toward Africa, and I'll show you one that has a negative attitude toward himself. You can't have a negative attitude toward yourself, a positive attitude toward yourself, and a negative attitude toward Africa at the same time. To the same degree that your attitude, that your understanding of an attitude toward Africa becomes positive, you'll find that your understanding of and your attitude toward yourself will also become positive. And this is what the white man knows. So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity, our African characteristics. And you know yourself, that we have been a people who hated our African characteristics. We hated our hair. We hated the shape of our nose. We wanted one of those long dog-like noses, you know. Yeah. We hated the color of our skin. Hated the blood of Africa that was in our veins. And in hating our features and our skin and our blood, why we had to end up hating ourselves. And we hated ourselves. Our color became to us a chain. We felt that it was holding us back. Our color became to us like a prison, which we felt was keeping us confined, not letting us go this way or that way.
Rise in power, bro. Rise in power.
Yeah, no doubt. Good
Yes,
stuff.
thank you very much, Ear Doctor. That was dope as
No
usual. And Sister May on the graphics. Thanks to you. Thanks to the entire BPM family for showing up on and offline. We appreciate you.
I know Malcolm was one of his favorites, so I had to show love for that brother.
No
Absolutely,
doubt.
no doubt, absolutely. Yeah.
I catch y'all later.
All right, thanks, Ear Doctor. All right, good people. So as we press on here, the world does keep on spinning. Should we spin that globe and come back and hit some of these stories real quick? And we'll keep pushing through here at the Remix Morning Show. Let's spin that globe and get some news.
Let's go.
All right, that's it. Back again, Remix Morning Show, Black Power Media. News. We get into some news. Kim, did you want to go first? You said you had brought something? I know we got a couple things to get to, but why don't we start with you?
All right, guys, and shout out to everybody that's in the chat too, because I know folks that are watching us here on the Remix Morning Show also tune in to Burn It Down with Kim Brown on Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And a story that I've been talking about for a week and some change now has to do with the police murder of 32-year-old Winston Smith in Minneapolis. And this story, I believe, is experiencing a media blackout. Right? Like a lot of people outside of Minneapolis are not talking about what happened to Winston Smith. And let me tell y'all what happened to Winston Smith. So June the 3rd, I believe, was the day. Winston apparently was a very vocal radical. We played on my show a Facebook video of his, I believe, where he was giving his commentary about why Black people in Minneapolis and in the Twin Cities, why should they be peaceful in the face of all this police violence, especially in the year since George Floyd was murdered on camera by Derek Chauvin. And so what I'm able to glean just from reading stuff on social media, again, because there's not been a lot of reporting about this, is that Winston on June the 3rd had disclosed his location like on Snapchat or something. And law enforcement apparently was tracking his movements. And the initial story that came out was that he was supposedly wanted for murder, which came out not to be true. Then they said that he had a gun. Well, in a recent press conference, the woman who was with Winston Smith when the police killed him, they killed him in the middle of the day, like broad daylight, said that she didn't see a gun in the car and she did not see him display a gun. So the reasons that police gave why they shot and killed him, many activists on the ground are saying assassination, is already proven to be some bullshit. So, and let me just say this also, is that people in Minneapolis have been in the streets daily since Winston Smith was murdered, and you're not hearing about it on national media outlets. And I don't know why this case is not getting the attention of George Floyd. Perhaps it's because it wasn't caught on camera, and perhaps his politics are more radical than George Floyd. Like I don't understand like why Winston Smith's name is not in everybody's mouth right now.
Well, that's
So,
2 good reasons right there.
well, you're right. You're right about that, Jerry. You know. But even since Winston was murdered and people have been in the streets, there has been some other news. So sorry, I didn't mean to move myself. About what's happened. A protester by the name of Deanna Marie was killed 2 days ago by allegedly by a white man named Nicholas Crass. This was an incident where Deanna Marie had positioned her vehicle around protesters or to block traffic or to protect protesters in some way. It's a white, well, she appears to be white. And this man, Nicholas Krause, allegedly rammed his car into her parked car, thus pushing the car into her, and she was killed. And there was video of the aftermath that I'm going to show on my show tomorrow, where you see people holding Nicholas Krause, like holding him in a headlock, holding him, waiting for police. And naturally, police show up with rubber bullets and mace ready for the protesters, less enthusiastic, I suppose, about arresting the alleged murderer, Nicholas Krause, by the way, who was charged with 2nd-degree murder, unpremeditated by Hennepin County prosecutors. So this is some shit, y'all, kicking off in Minneapolis that I think that we all need to be hip to. Again, the media blackout around the story about Winston Smith, and again, what's going on with the murder of Deanna Marie, is something that I think we all need to be focused on, because again, I can't tell that this brother did anything wrong beyond voice his opposition to the cops and voice the fact that we don't need to be necessarily peaceful. Perhaps we need to be more militant and revolutionary about the police occupation and the police brutality of Black and brown communities, especially up there in the Twin Cities. So y'all, please keep Winston Smith in your mind. Please keep the memory of Deanna Marie. I'm confused as to why we don't know these people's names. You understand? Like when Heather Heyer was murdered in Charlottesville by white supremacists, she was out there on behalf of Black lives. A lot of people know her name, and I don't know why these other folks is not necessarily getting the same recognition, especially in very similar situations. So that's my story, y'all. We need to know about Winston Smith. We need to uplift the memory of Deanna Marie. But if Winston Smith can be targeted by police just for putting a video up on Facebook, none of us are safe, which I know all of us know this, but I just want to reiterate that again, that free speech is not free for Black people in the United States.
Well, there it is. Indeed. Anybody want to quickly respond? I know we have a little bit of an abbreviated segment here, but go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I might speculate, and this would only be speculation. Some of it is, to me, corporate media is trying to give Biden a little pass. And we may not like that, but you have they also have their favorites, where there was easy, or there was desire to do all they could to put things out there with Trump, unless there's action that is similar to Ferguson or even with Trayvon Martin. You're going to have sort of liberal media maybe try to ignore some of these stories or shove them under. But that's my only speculation as to why, because it doesn't make any sense, like you're saying, that the similarity of the killings. And the other thing I'll say is that, anytime it seems like there's an organizer or activist who gets killed in somewhat suspicious circumstances, those stories are not highlighted as much as, per se, someone who is not associated with movement, particularly in these days and times. And so, as you already know, a lot of the folks, well, several folks who were killed or died, again, in mysterious ways during the Ferguson uprising, those stories never made big media or never got big media attention. It was really through organizers and activists, social media, and then some small stories that we got to hear about some of those suspicious deaths. And I think that trend might be continuing here as they try to downplay this story.
Yeah, agreed. I just wanted to say Minnesota, goddamn. I think I've said that like weeks and weeks ago, and we're back here again. Yeah, I think to some degree, yes, we're speculating, but we also know that there's a documented history of this government trying to suppress martyrs and messiahs. So that's why certain people's killings have to be suppressed and ignored and erased, so that we aren't inspired by what they were doing, and that we don't raise those questions about why this particular killing is being handled in a certain way. So certain types of investigations and questions aren't raised. So,
and apparently, let me just add a couple more details. So the people in the streets are expecting, at least it's been speculated, that the National Guard might be called in. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, so the activists are anticipating more law enforcement, more militarized response to the protests about Winston Smith's murder. But also, I'm sorry, I smoke a lot of weed. I just forgot what I was going to say. My bad. Yeah, let me pass.
Puff, puff, give, puff, puff, give. We just keep it moving
we pass
to the left. No, the only thing I would want to just quickly add to this is that I think there has not been enough discussion about all that actually went into all of the uprisings around George Floyd that weren't necessarily related specifically to George Floyd, unfortunately. That's why I think we don't see the carryover from case to case, even when they're in the same area geographically. And we're just not sufficiently organized to be responding to this consistent level of police violence and state violence. So I would just use this as another reminder of that we are not prepared as a media, journalistically. We're not prepared organizationally or otherwise to respond to all of these constant killings and abuses. So we're not able to keep up. And anyway, I think there's other reasons as well, but I just wanted to raise those up very quickly. But speaking of which, by the way, we do have a little bit of an abbreviated segment here. So I just wanted to, speaking of which, we didn't even get to this yesterday, but sort of not in terms of politically not being able to keep up with the fast pace of history, so to speak. Yesterday was the anniversary of the 1976 uprising in Soweto, in Tanzania, which sparked for at least that generation a new level of resistance against apartheid. Some point to it as being sort of that last wave that broke apartheid's back. But some of us like to remind that it just sort of adjusted apartheid into the system we have today, where Black South Africans are worse off than they were then. The armed struggle was suppressed, the communist movement suppressed, Chris Hani assassinated, and so on and so on and so on. Winnie Mandela imprisoned and marginalized, and what she represented suppressed as well. So to the point I'm just trying to draw in terms of this segue in parallel is that insufficiently organized Pan-African global movements allow segments of those struggles to get picked off, pun intended, unfortunately, and suppressed and redistributed into liberal hashtags and neoliberal nonprofit formation. So anyway, so I just wanted to quickly raise that up because we didn't get a chance to mention that yesterday. Then anybody want to pick up on that? If not, there was one other piece I can try to quickly run through before we get to our next break.
I want to add something.
Sure, please go ahead.
Another announcement. Consuela, Africa. We were alerted yesterday by the MOVE organization that Consuela, Africa, who was a survivor of the August 8th, 1978 attack on MOVE, and whose children, Netta and Tree Africa, were murdered or assassinated in the May 13th, 1985 bombing of MOVE in Philadelphia, who we spoke about maybe a month or so when we had Pam Africa from Move On. We talked about how the University of Pennsylvania had her children's bones or remains, Tree Africa. We received news that Consuela transitioned yesterday at age 67. Also, Move has was informed by the University of Pennsylvania that they now have Tree Africa's remains and they're dropping them off at a funeral home. So Move is hoping that Tree and Consuela will be buried together. So we send our condolences to our Move family. You know what I mean? It's certainly sad news. You know, I understand that she's experienced so much stress from that situation. And she has gone on to see the ancestors. So, you know, we say on the move to Consuela, Africa. This took place about a year, I believe, to date after the transition of Delbert Africa. He transitioned last year. So we send our condolences to our Move family. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're going to keep this fight, keep it moving.
And similarly, although albeit with a slightly better outcome, we did also get word of a car accident that Dr. Cambone's family and children were in. They're hospitalized but recovering, but in need of help as well. I'll put the link to their support page in the chat as well. If as you know, so yeah, we you know. Anyway, if. Yeah, sorry. Go. Did somebody want to say anything else about any of that? Follow up with any of that? All right. So if not, then I think what we're going to do is jump now and bring back the ear doctor, who is going to help us smooth out some of these rough edges this difficult morning here at the RemiX Morning Show. Welcome back, dear brother. It's good to see you.
Hey, what's good? What's good? So, yo, let's go back to some more music, take a little break, get a little breath. Everybody take a deep breath, and we're going to come back and give it to you. All right?
RemiX.
Oh yeah.
Rise and power to our brother, Baba Lukman. And if y'all don't know, also make sure that, I'm sure he would very much want to make sure that this program continues to keep going. So please like, please subscribe, please tell a friend to tell a friend that this is the station that you want to listen to, that you want to grow with, that you want to build with. And we're going to be right here for you. So that's what it is. Black Power Media, the Remix Morning Show. Let's bring back in the Remix Morning crew. Yeah.
It just occurred to me, that the other on the other end of that cropped image was me. That's the picture where me and Baba had I think first met the first time in person some years ago, when he didn't have his beard, and I think neither of us had our beards at that time. So anyway, but anyway, really rest in power to him, and appreciate that ear doctor right there. And I will say that I'm gonna be quiet. I really appreciate the next flow that we have coming with some breaths, and then one of my preferred ways of dealing with sadness, to be honest, some potentially exerting physical response.
Somebody.
I mean, no, I have a heavy bag. I have, other more, peaceable, humane methods at this point. Nobody, but it is a nice way to release some, stress and sadness. And I admit, when I get sad, I get mad, and then so I just do it that way. But anyway, so I appreciate the flow segment. And then we're going to wrap, by the way, in the next hour, we have Uncle Devin coming through, for the kids, because BPM is also for the kids.
For the babies.
So right now, before we do any of that, we have a new segment that we almost forgot about.
We do. I mean? But before we even get to that, before I get out of here, that beat was by Ace Fidel. We're gonna bring him back next week to do some more production and keep this music going, because it's Black Music Month. I catch you on next break.
Right on. Thanks for that. Ace is nice, man. Ace is nice.
Okay. Yeah. We gonna come right back at you. We have a new segment dealing with
hold up, Kalanji, hold up real quick. My bad. That's my bad, because I took the time, because I believed Dr. Ieli was gonna help us breathe through the moment real quick.
Yes.
Did I miss that? Did I?
Yeah, you missed the chat, brother, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. It's okay. I think what we'll do is we'll do the new segment, and then maybe wrap it up with some breathing.
My apologies.
I'm excited to get into it.
Let's go. Me too. So let's go. My bad.
It's all good.
Get away, Kalanji.
Yeah. So we have our newest host on deck today. Our man Balogun OJ Tade will be joining the Remix Morning Show effective right about now. We'll be right back with Balogun.
Remix.
Everybody, this is Baba Balogun OJ Tade. I'm here with one of my instructors, Ogunbile. And it's funny, when you talked about breath, I was like, oh my goodness, because I wanted to start with what we call combat breath. I was going to do it at the end, so this is one of the survival hacks. When you're in fear, or you're riddled by sadness, confusion, you feel like you're having a panic attack or anything of that nature. When I was in Special Forces, we were taught to have combat breath so we could go into combat and stay calm. And so we use that as part of our curriculum in Ekbe Ogun now. It was first taught to me by my father, who was also SF, Special Forces. And then I learned to really do it very well once I got into Special Forces. But now we use it as part of Egbil Boom. So, which is the name that we call the indigenous African martial arts that we study, okay? So the number one thing that you're gonna start doing is you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you breathe out for 4, okay? And you do that as many times as you have to calm yourself, right? So when our sympathetic nervous system is activated, that deals with our fight or flight, that deals with strong emotions, right? It's to prepare us to run or whatever we have to do to survive. However, when you're riddled with fear, your ability to use that productively instead of destructively, it goes way down. Or when you're saddened, or so. Let's breathe in for 4. We'll do it 3 times. Breathe in, and you can do it more times while you're watching. But breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. And finally, breathe in for 4. Hold. Breathe out for 4. So that is called the combat breath. You're meeting somebody and you feel like you're afraid against whatever opposition it may be, greater numbers or the folks in blue or whatever it may be. Use combat breath to calm yourself, so now you can be ready to do what it is that you need to do. Now, first technique, well, the only technique today we're going to deal with, this is technique of the week. It's called covers. We want things to be as simple as possible when we're defending ourselves. If I have to think of a million things, I suffer paralysis by analysis. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? That means you're thinking. If you're thinking during a combat engagement, you're probably going to lose that engagement. Okay. So, if you can put that down real quick. If a slap comes at me and I think, okay, a slap is coming, how do I deal with the slap? And then I say, well, a hook punch is coming. Because some folks, they'll say, this is defenses against a slap, you do this. This is defenses against a hook punch, you do this. They're moving in the same direction, so why are you doing multiple things, learning all these different things against just a hook punch or a straight punch or an overhand? So we discover against a hook punch, a straight punch, or an overhand, you can pretty much deal with the same way. If you're walking down the street, somebody throws a softball and it's coming at you, you say, watch out for the ball. You go, oh, well, that is a bad cover. And we're just going to tweak it a little bit, but that's your natural reaction to cover your head so you don't get hit. You're not saying, well, if it comes straight, I do this. And if it comes hook, I do this. That doesn't make any sense. You don't have time to think of anything. You just have to move, okay? You have to flow with what's going on. And that's what the African is all about. We know about improvisation. When jazz musicians play together, first you have to learn those scales before you can improvise. And so this is the beginning of our scales to be able to defend ourselves, okay? This is something simple, something we all should do, and it's extremely effective. He throws a hook at me. Throw this hand. He throws a hook. I bring my cover up. That means I bring my arm up. It's married to my face. It's about the height of my eyebrow. If you're too stiff to bring that up, you can bring it to the height of your nose. If you're too stiff for that, you better start stretching, okay? So bring it up. You look through either this part or down here. If you got big old biceps like this, you might want to look under, but bring it up, okay? If it's a straight punch, he runs into it, or I end up stepping off if I move, okay? He throws an overhand, same thing. I don't sit and think, oh, that's different. The only things I worry about is it's in the lower line or it's coming from the lower line like an uppercut. Now that's different. But the most common punch that's going to be thrown is the hook, either that wild hook or a good hook, overhand, right, or the straight punch. That's the most common, which people call a jab or cross, okay? So we're going to just cover and shift our hips. The other hand should be defending the other side. So I'm here, I always say cover is two hands. One's at your chin, the other one's up. One's at the chin, the other one's up. Marry it to your face. Don't have that hand out here, because now all that's open. Don't have your arm out, your elbow like this. Have it married to your face to close that off. You see where that's there. Now, if I shift my hips, you're cut off from hitting me. Here, I take it on my arm, all right? So he's going to throw at me on both sides. We'll turn, and I'll throw at him so you all can see. There we go, you're in there. So he punches, 1, 2. He punches again, 1, 2. If you don't have a partner with you, just bring the covers up. He punches again, 1, 2. Okay, that's the beginnings of it. Again, 1, 2. If you did it straight, that's fine. Although straight, best use a palm, because if you run your knuckles into that elbow, bad day, okay? It's gonna hurt. So now once you get your just 1, 2 with your hips moving in that way, now move forward a little bit, okay? So now when he throws it, I move towards him, so I'm not just blocking myself, I'm actually threatening him with the elbow, because every block is a strike. Every block is a what? Right. Every block is a what? Right. And every strike is a what? Block. Every block is a strike, every strike is a block. Always remember that. Every block is a strike, every strike is a block. And if it's not that, then you really have cut your training in half, because you should be able to cover yourself and threaten him so he doesn't keep punching at you. You just covering. No. So what you do now is you step towards him while turning your hip a little bit. So he's punching, I step towards him. He's moving his face away because he's threatened by that elbow. If he throws the punch on the other side, now he eats that elbow. Sorry about that. He eats that elbow. Okay? He doesn't get that elbow off. So once again, I'll move back so you can see how I'm stepping. He punches, I'm just stepping the other foot forward. So if I bring up my right, my left foot comes forward. I got my heel down, because most people will move like that, but really we have our heels up. I'm already hitting them with this elbow. Right from jump, okay? That's probably gonna prevent him from throwing that other arm, but I'm not depending on that. So I get ready for my other cover. So he throws, I cover. He throws, I cover. He gets cracked. If he throws again, well, he really eats that. Oh, because I'm all in there now. And your steps aren't big, they're just step, step, step. Normal steps, except they're going at an angle. Okay? So I can make sure I turn my hip. That is the cover. Now, it can be used in multiple ways. So, if he throw this hand, throw a hook so they can see well enough. If he throws a hook or straight, usually a straight, I love to blast that arm. But he throws, I'm doing this so they can see. I go in with my cover, I throw my arm. So once I attack the arm and kill that, now I can hit him with other things here, okay? So I kill his arm, or I can move off, which is one of my favorites, so I'm on the outside. And then he ends up suffering for that, right? Keep that simple. All I did was I came with this elbow into that arm, I cut down, I'm on the outside. This is your safest place to be, on the outside, because if I'm on the inside, I'm dealing with this arm, his head, this leg, that leg. But if I'm on the outside, he'd have to move in the circle to hit me with this fist. If he moves in the circle, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So he moves in the circle to punch me, boom, he's hit already because he's moving in the circle, and I go slow. Go ahead and throw a hook at me with that arm. He's hit already because I'm moving in a straight line. Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Can't change that mathematics at all, okay? So he moves with that punch, he gets hit, boom, and I'm gonna be hitting him hard, okay? And then I can go from there back to my covers, but now my covers and elbow attacking here, because every block is a strike, okay? On this outside, I got control of this arm, so I'm not dealing with this arm. He got to move in a circle to get to me here, and with that foot, so all I got to worry about is this foot. He can't use a headbutt because I'm connected to him. My chest is against him. If he tries to headbutt, he gets pushed off. So he can't headbutt. Only thing he can do is use that leg. He's not going to get to use that. I'm going to crack him, then I'm going to attack that leg, then I start attacking him from the side, okay? But it all comes from the cover first. So make sure, if you want to cover into that arm, you say, whoops, I used the wrong arm. I went to attack his arm, he's just going here, and I go with this arm. That's fine. Now you just wrap your arm over, strike, okay? I say, oh, wrong arm. That's okay. Or this arm comes down after that, and I strike him to the back of his head, pull him in, boom, into hits, right? So you build from the covers, you go from there. And you never say, oops, I made a mistake. There are no mistakes in combat. Your mind moves your body a certain way, and it's probably best that it move that way. You, because if you're thinking, you're going to be slower, right? So your brain moves, thought moves 24 billion miles per second, and that's still too slow, because so does my opponent's brain. So it is instincts that we want to move off of. So my instinct tells me, oh, throw this arm. When he throws this punch, it should be this arm, but I throw this arm and I end up out here. Well, fine. I have to adjust to that. There was no mistake. That means my mind, which is your spirit, it saw a better opening for me here. It could be that I'm just pushing him off and running. Okay? So now hand me the stick. So you can see you cover yourself. He thought he was gonna swing at me, I'm swinging at him. I'm just swinging this. This is soft, but you know, it's got this stick inside. Okay. So he takes a little bit of hit. So we're gonna go one here to the other side. He's covered. Don't anticipate. Okay. Are you hurt?
No, sir.
He's not hurt. Okay. I can use that stick now. If I use this stick, the smart thing is not to take a daggone hit on your arm with this stick, especially by a person who knows how to swing a stick. The smart thing is to close. So the acceleration of the stick is out here. He has to be in here. And that only takes about 4, 5 to 6 inches of movement. I go to swing, he's inside. And don't even attack the arm, attack me. My face, right? That's still attacking me, but attack my, so now this is way out here, and I'm getting hit. I'm moving away because I don't want to get hit. I know what's coming. If he doesn't know what's coming, he eats, boom. And you still don't get hit because the force is out here. That's another part of that. Always move towards your attacker or far away where they can't touch you at all, okay? He's swinging a stick, you move in. If he's kicking, you move in. If he's swinging a knife, you move in. Oh, I know. Or you get the hell away where he can't touch you with it, right? But if you can't run and he's swinging a knife and you're outside the area, see there, he's safe. If I shorten it like a combatant would, then no, go ahead and cover. If he covers, because don't concentrate on too much. I ate that slowed down that cut, but if I cut his arm, don't take too many of those. Immediately close on that arm and destroy it. Or pin it so he's not using that tool. Because this saves your throat. This is better than catching it on the throat. You can only catch so many of these. If somebody tells you, they just take it there. I know a brother in a certain organization, big organization, said, the person stabbing you, just take it through your hand. And you call on God. You take this knife through your hand, you're going to start going into shock within seconds. And then once you start going into shock, you can't defend yourself. He's now going to take your life. So don't do that. Don't do stuff you saw in a movie. Keep it simple. Just throw that elbow up and use it. The only way you have to adjust this and not do that is if you don't have an elbow. If you don't have an elbow, well, we have to figure something else out for you. Okay, come to me and then we figure that out. But so throw that elbow up, cover yourself. All right. I know you all can hear me. I don't know if there's questions. I don't know how to look at stuff and stuff like that. So if any questions, I'll try to get to them after this segment. I don't know how much time I have. I think 1 minute. So let me take this minute to say, we'll be building from there. We're doing simple techniques, and then we'll do a survival hack, okay? All of this is geared towards making you able to survive, then thrive in this crazy ass world. And I wanna end saying, I put it in the chat, but I wanna end saying my condolences to Jackie Lukman, to the BPM family, and to all those who care for Baba Abdus. Thank you for your time. I love y'all. Stay black.
Right on. Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show here, Black Power Media. And I don't know about anybody else, but that is exactly what I needed right there. I appreciate, all due respect, Dr. Ichile, all due respect. And I was moved, but what I needed was that right there. I was up and moving, knocked something over. I was,
Yeah.
I had to get myself back together here. Like, I really appreciate that. Big shout out to Baba Balagoon and the brother he was working with there. I was asking Kalanji, who's teaching that around here? I'm trying to woo! That's what I need.
Please don't break nothing, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Some things got to get broke.
Break a little chicken wing.
Some things got to get broke. It's all right.
Yeah, this is true. All chakras matter. I'll say that always. You got to connect with the waters of healing, but you also got to connect with your fire. So to stay balanced, people try to act like it's only one way, combat breathing, spiritual breathing. It's a continuum. We got to do all of the above. We got to be able to do all of the above. So this was great. This was
Are you going to give us some spiritual healing? Some spiritual breathing, I mean?
Yeah, really spiritual healing is just a little bit longer. Like, instead of 4-4-4, we might do 8-4-8, with our eyes closed. And that's definitely opposite of combat training, where you gotta definitely use your eyes. So but it's all the same body. The breath is the foundation of all movement. If you aren't breathing properly, you are not moving fully efficiently, whether you're dancing, fighting, working, getting freaky, as the Lukmans have instructed us, is very important to keep in mind. Like, you just, breath matters. So thank you, Baba.
No doubt. One thing I want to add real quick, we always talk about revolution and we talk about destroying capitalism and imperialism and all that. You ain't going to talk this shit to death. It ain't going to fall apart like that. We talk about police terrorism all the time. We talk about white supremacists all the time. If your ass can't fight or defend yourself, then all that shit don't mean nothing at the end of the day. And you're not always going to have a gun or a knife. If they capture you and you get locked up, you're going to have to be able to defend yourself. And you can't theorize yourself out of that motherfucker. So I think that we should take this very valuable information, you understand what I'm saying, and instruction is practical, because Balogun gets, this is what he does for almost 50 years. So, you talk about a master instructor. What morning show can you go to and get spiritual healing? You can get some theory, you can get some practice, you can get the combat side of things. You're not going to find that, especially for free. You know what I mean? So, I know some of you, may like it and some of you don't, but look, you ain't going to theorize yourself about this motherfucker. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's physical, it's mental, and it's spiritual. And if you think it's not, when these motherfuckers run up on you, try to talk your way up out of that. Talk your way up out that ass whooping they got for you. See how that work.
And I want to just echo something, and I'm looking forward to more lessons from Balogun, but I want to see some modifications for people who are not able-bodied, for people who may have mobility challenges, for people who may have other disabilities, like, disabled people want to whip some ass too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's techniques available for people who may use a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like, you go for the eyes, go for the nose. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I want to see some modifications in future lessons about how people who may not have full use of their arms and legs, or may not have full sensory abilities, vision, hard of hearing, etc. Like, how can disabled people protect themselves from physical attack also?
Indeed. And I know he has a little bit of all of that. So I know we have another guest coming up.
We do. We're a full service morning show here. But I do want to, just quickly, Dr. Sundiata Chajua has joined us this morning. Good morning to you. And I know, he just wanted to at least jump in here quickly. So good morning.
Good morning, brothers. I am loving the morning remix show. I just want to send my condolences to Sister Jackie, and of course to our family of BPM. It's truly a sad occurrence that came as a shock. So thank you.
No, we appreciate you, and obviously stick around. We'll be coming back to as we wrap up the show to say a few more words about Baba Abdus and a few other maybe important updates and etc. But if we can, let's go ahead and take another break from all of that. As we said, BPM is for the kids, and one of my favorite, going back to when my children were still little kids themselves, I should say. I got a special surprise from DC for the folks around in the BPM world. So let's go ahead and hit that here in the Remix Morning Show. Back in just a second here, Black Power Media. Right on. Again, good morning, everybody, here at the Remix Morning Show, Black Power Media. I am very happy to have with us this morning one of my favorite folks out of the DC area, just in terms of just human beings. This brother is just a good brother. In terms of the talent, you'll see in a moment what he can do. But he among many other things, is a national leader in the children's music industry and an award-winning drummer and percussionist. He is a former radio talk show host for Radio 1 and a current radio programmer at the good WPFW 89.3 FM in Washington, D.C. And he is and owns his own 24/7 online program called that is WEE Nation Radio. Let me introduce everybody to Uncle Devin. We all know him as Uncle Devin. He's everybody's Uncle Devin. Brother, good morning to you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm sitting here on the RemiX Morning Show. Brother Jared, thank you so much for allowing me to be here, man. I am so honored.
Hey, no, the honor is mine. So we were talking about even as we look at the heal as much we can in this moment of mourning here, the RemiX show. One of the things I said, I love the spiritual component from Dr. Ichile. I love the hand throwing from Brother Baba Balagoon. But the one element that I can't get away from that does make me personally, and I know makes the world feel better, is the pocket, man. And not only do you give us the pocket, that DC pocket, but you've been doing it for the children for a long time. Before we hear anything, just tell us a little bit about what the Uncle Devin Show is. My children used to go see you on a regular basis, and I know all those that do love it. But tell us a little bit about what is the Uncle Devin Show.
Sure. Well, the Uncle Devin Show is an interactive musical experience for children that uses drums and percussion to cultivate their minds, sort of a dynamic cross between DC's Trouble Funk and Schoolhouse Rock. I call this my percussion playground, and this is liberation music for children. For over 200 years, Black children have been not only musically neglected and ignored, but have been the subject of some of the most vile and vicious musical attacks, from Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo to even songs that you may not even think of, such as A Tisket, a Tasket, and that whole talk about a little darky picked it up and put it in their basket. It goes for years. And even a book you shared with me some time ago, which I love, was How to Read Daffy Duck. And you look at the whole history of Walt Disney and done some research on that. So my job now is to create music specifically for Black children, because we can't trust and we can't expect anyone else to do for us what we must do for ourselves. So the Uncle Devin Show is a part of the liberation movement, and is focusing on children whose minds develop from 0 to 5. All human beings' minds develop 80% of its capacity. And if we are not feeding it with liberation music, with positive, age-appropriate, and culturally relevant music, then we're doing a disservice to our people.
Right on. Hey, let's hear a little bit about what it sounds like when you begin to introduce your audiences, those 0 to 5, to the work that you do. Let's give them a little taste, and then I do have a couple more questions, but I do want to, I can't be just sitting around looking at the drums and not hear something. So, anyway.
Well, what I'll do is I'll give a little bit of the beginning of a song that I created that talks about the pocket. Yes, I am from Washington, D.C. The pocket is not just exclusive to D.C., but we have our own twist to it that features the congas, the cowbell. I'm using an electronic drum set here. And everything always starts with the heartbeat. And I love what the sister was saying about breathing. All of this is about breathing. And we start off with the drum set like this. And then we're going to go to the pulse. When I play the congas, it goes like this. When I play the congas, it brings me happiness. See, the congas is a pulse. When I play the congas, it goes like this. When I play the congas, it brings me happiness. Like this. And then we bring the cowbell in. Now the cowbell is there is no cow, but it's what we add to kind of add a little pepper and sauce onto it. So you got the drums playing, you got the congas playing, and then they'll add the cowbells. And I'm gonna do a rhythm.
Devin, real quick.
Yes.
My bad. Are we supposed? I don't know if we're hearing everything we're supposed to be hearing.
Oh, you should be. I'm sorry. I don't know what. Hold tight.
Yeah. I think we're missing.
Yep, I think I got you. I got you. Hold on, I can
wanted
fix
to make
that
sure
real
people
quick.
got the whole the experience, so to speak.
Oh, I can't be doing it. No, it was me.
Should be able. Let's try something real quick. Let me know
All
if you
right,
hear
that's
something.
there we go. There we
No,
go.
so
there we go. There we go. That's what I was missing. There it is.
You missing the pocket?
Yes.
Now
I was
known
wondering
for as the one man percussion band. I used to do this when I was younger, and then we're gonna add the little sauce with the cowbell like this.
Where y'all from? Where y'all from?
You know, so I'll say stuff like I'm the D to the E to the VIN. Add Uncle, and now you got a name that'll win. And so that's the one thing about the pocket, and one thing I've learned. In fact, it was because of busing that I learned how to play all these different instruments, because I was bused for 30 minutes one direction in elementary school, 30 minutes junior high school another direction. So sitting on the back of the bus, we created sounds out of the seat, the rubber seats, the metal plates behind it, and we would just try to create all these different sounds. And that's how I just learned how to play all these different instruments while we were joning on the way to school.
Yeah, man, I haven't heard that word of it, joning. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, we definitely want to hear more. One question I wanted to make sure we got to is that you talked about the relationship of the music industry to young children.
Yes. I
wanted you to talk a little bit about your experience in trying to make an intervention in that. How has your work been received? You know, you've talked to me in the past about even satellite radio and the stations on there, and some of the gatekeeping and some of the I mean, could you just talk a little bit, if you would, about that process, as you've just really been trying to introduce children to a wider array of music?
The biggest issue isn't the children and them receiving the music. The biggest problem is the parents who, and I don't necessarily blame them, because when people think of children's music or family music, we've been inundated with the fact that most children's music has been dominated by the white culture that generally plays pop, rock, and folk music. We don't listen to that, and a lot of that music, I mean, there's some great artists, but it doesn't reflect our culture. What I've been trying to do now is recognize that with We Nation Radio and what we, both online and also the stations that you just mentioned on WPFW, we play children's and family music that's R&B, hip hop, reggae, go-go, funk, calypso, and world music. So the issue now is waking people up to know that there is a difference. You don't have to you're not listening to Barney, which, by the way, was created by African, by the way, by a brother. So, but the fact is, you're not listening to that style of music. We don't dumb down the music. We just make it age appropriate. I can say that it's a hard task because, again, we're so, especially the music industry. If you think about all the Black-owned media entities that are out here, none of them have any type of programming for children. I want that to sink in. You can look at all of them. In fact, the Grammys has a category for best children's album. So does the Latin Grammys. But none of the Black-owned Black-owned award shows, NAACP Image Awards, the Soul Train Awards, none of them have anything that recognizes artists who focuses on family children's music. So we have a petition right now that you can find on wenationradio.com where we're getting them and asking them that they recognize this so that we can elevate the family. If we talk about family, the family is important, then we need family wholesome music. And so it's a difficult task, but hey, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah. That's pretty deep. I don't think I've thought of it quite in that way in terms of Black media and that landscape. And I think we might have to, we need to have a conversation offline about Uncle Devin and BPM. You know what I mean? Here we are. A call for et cetera, and so forth. But anyway, let's go back to I want to hear some more. So what else? How else might you introduce us or our audience, at least, to some of the work that you do and some of the lessons that you bring for the children?
Well, I mean, part of it is helping children and families understand that the drum is a form of communication. One of the first forms of communication that we used before colonialism, before chattel slavery, and then during chattel slavery, and how we used it to be able to communicate. Of course, we were using it to escape from freedom. And when we did that, they recognized that, oh, they're using the drum to communicate. So they said it was outlawed. But see, we're genius people. So we came up with our own way of communicating. They thought we were just having fun. And it was something called the hand bone. And the hand bone is an African drum technique that uses the entire body as a drum set to produce different sounds. And then I have a class that I teach. And I say, first you take your hand that you used to say hi. You bring it down low and hit up on your thigh. People might look at you funny and ask why. What's that called? I'm doing the hand bone. And so this whole song talks about and teaches how to do the hand bone. And in my lessons that I do in my residencies in schools, I then teach children how to communicate using body percussion. So I'm teaching this old ancient, lesson on how they can create their own secret codes. Then we can move to the talking drum and the djembe and the cowbell. And now we're creating rhythms, patterns that are STEM related, but that also now teaches our history all the way back to Mother Africa.
And you've also published. I know we have at least one book. I don't know how many you that teaches the instruments, the alphabet based on the instruments. I remember that one. But talk about what else that you have available. Sure. And yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Well, no, and I don't know if this shows up that well. I'll bring it up a little bit closer. But this is the book you're referring to, the ABCs of Percussion.
Mm-hmm.
For every letter of the alphabet, there's a percussion instrument named after it. And it comes with I don't even know if people use CDs anymore, but we can also send you the audio where you can hear what each instrument sounds like. 26 different instruments. And I'm since I've done this, people have been sending me other instruments, and I may have to come with a sequel to that. But also what's really blown up since the George Floyd murder was a training that I created, which is called Racism in Children's Music. This is a 3-hour presentation and workshop where libraries around the country are now hiring me out to educate their staff about the origins of these racist nursery rhymes, games, and on and on and on. And I'm telling you, people come to tears when they really realize, the hatred, going back to pickaninny, and going back to using black children as alligator bait, and looking at all the hatred that's been in these songs and still exist today.
You mentioned it already, but what's one quick example? Can you give one quick example of that, or go back and elaborate more on one of those examples that you mentioned earlier?
Sure. Well, one song that pretty much you all of us probably sung it at some point, is Five Little Monkeys.
Mm.
Now, the Five Little Monkeys has this derivative into really a slave work song that was called shortening bread.
Mm.
Now, shortening bread was something that our people ingeniously used to be able to create music, and we were using it as a work song. But in the 1800s, whites in blackface perverted it and made it part of the minstrel show, and started now diverting it, and then in part of the song, if you remember, let's say shortening bread, mama, it was something about the babies that were in the bed. Three little niggas thumping in the bed. One jumped out and the other one's dead. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more niggas jumping in the bed. That's the origin of that. Then they started replacing niggers with monkeys.
Well, that was very nice, very kind of them. That was the nice liberal advance. That was the push him left Biden advance to monkeydom.
Exactly, right. And then that has its derivatives in not only 5 Little Monkeys. Then you had the song 10 Little Indians, Engines, or Niggers. And so all of these songs is part of the history. You know, the pickaninny. When you go and take a look at of that particular word and how that was part of advertising. That was the advertising for major industries. And then you'll start seeing the connections to Ain't Your Mama. You'll start seeing the connections to like I said, all the Disney works in the Black Sambo and the Tarzans. And so this workshop is really huge. But we don't just talk about the problem, because I have what I call Uncle Devin's PSAs. PSA stands for problems, solutions, actions. Anyone that talks about a problem must also then state what a solution is. But you can't stop there, because once you state a solution, then I need to know what you're going to do to help bring about that solution, not what I'm going to do, because ain't nobody going to manage my time but me. So that's how I look. Our training will walk people through problems, solutions, and actions on how to fix this. And gratefully, there's a lot that's been coming up with this. I mean, there's a site called the Know Better, Do Better Project. One of our white colleagues came up with this, and I'm glad to be a part of it, where we talk about what the negative songs are, and then each one of us we created a new song to counter that song. And big props to RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, because he partnered with Good Humor. And they came up with a new song in place of the Ice Cream Truck song.
I was going to say, Wu-Tang is really for the children, and they came up with a children-appropriate ice cream song. Because that is really important. This is deep, because I don't think it's maybe a few days ago where that song started to come on, and I had to catch myself because my children were in the car, and the beat came on. I got excited, and I was like, wait, I can't. This is not. I can't be in there with my. So this is great. That's great news.
And that's how they get you, because trust me, I mean, I mentioned the shortening bread. When I first heard it, I was jamming to it.
Of course, everybody likes that joint. Everybody likes all these joints.
So now as artists, we have a responsibility to counter that and to change that. And so big props out to John Smith, Tom Smith, who created this site called Know Better, Do Better Project. You can go right there, and we're trying, and you'll find that there's so many different songs. This one sister did a alternative to Amazing Grace, showing how Amazing Grace has its negative origins and roots.
Oh yeah, definitely. But listen, unfortunately, we're out of time right now, Uncle Devin. But do me a favor. I'm asking everybody to go to the UncleDevinShow.com, where they can catch up with you and learn more and sign up and do all that good stuff. But if you would, man, just play us out on something, man. Give us a little pocket on the way out. If you would, as we get ready to get back to the show here, the RemiX Morning Show, and bring the crew back up. But Uncle Devin, thank you very much once again. The UncleDevinShow.com. Appreciate you, my man. Good to see you again.
It's definitely my pleasure.
All right, everybody. Yeah. RemiX Morning Show, Black Power Media. Let's go.
Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got.
Give it what you got.
Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got, give it all you got.
Right on.
You learned so much.
Big shout out to Uncle Devin. Thanks again. I hope everybody feels a little bit better like I do, but
yeah. I mean, we went from a tribute to news to African martial arts and survival to children's to Uncle Devin, all in one show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we started this show off. I mean, shout out to Dr. CBS for having an uglier cry than I did. But but we went on a roller coaster ride today. You know what I mean? So we went from crying to learning how to whoop somebody's ass to working with the babies. You know what I mean?
Black life, though. Ain't that black? Ain't that black life though?
Boy, look here.
And
Only
yes,
on BPM.
I love Uncle Devin's philosophy, man. You got to get them kids on the drums early.
Man, my daughters, man, we had so much fun at his shows, man. The joints are off the hook, man. They're really perfect, and unfortunately, not a part of not a big enough set of events for Black and brown children to really get to. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Jared. I echo some of the sentiments that were in the chat about having like a regular segment or even a show on Black Power Media for children.
Man, we're trying to hire this dude. What you talking about? We're trying to book this dude, trying to sign him up.
Well, he made some really important points, even about how within the Black music industry, if it can even be called that, there is no space to even reward or honor or highlight children's artists. My twin sister is a children's artist. Her stage name is Gigi Gumspoon, but she kind of just fell off from creating music for children. She even had like a song about breathing and things and to like help calm yourself down when you're feeling bad and all that good stuff. But she felt completely unsupported. People didn't want to hear music for children. There was not a lot of space that we create in our communities for that. So I think we really need to like take that very seriously. And that's yet another thing Black Power Media has can lead the charge on, because it's needed.
Well, because that's the reality. Those aren't our spaces. That's the point. They're symbolically, they're labeled, they're adorned with Blackness. Pretty hosts and talented hosts and skillful this and that. But it's not. That's all it is. It's commercial draping.
If children aren't a part of our revolution, it's not a real revolution. Like, children have always been a part of our movements. So
better quote that and try to put it on a t-shirt.
Sidebar, y'all. Have you ever played percussion laden music, African-based drums, go-go music for a toddler and watch that little bama bounce up and down on beat?
Yes. My children, it did, you can never predict where they're going to go when they grow older, but they grew up on it. I mean, I would get, because the one of the beautiful parts of go-go is that there are some ugly lyrical elements, but when they go into the pocket, those extended pocket sections that have no so I would get instrumentals all the time, or get the breaks all the time, and playing from my children grew up. I mean, and they would be in the back, and it would work to even break up their little arguments in the back seats. I just turn up the pocket, they'd be like, and the hands that were swinging at each other all like,
No, Jared, no, you did that all wrong. You're supposed to play Rough It Off by Junkyard Band and put your kids against each other and see who was going to come out victorious during the Rough It Off session.
See, that's that 1970s parenting. I'm a 21st century father. We don't.
I'm just messing.
You know what they got for kids today? They got Kids Bop on it, which is like the worst. Yeah, it's like our kids somehow fell into it, and it is basically all the pop songs with some of the words taken out, but get you hooked on those rhythms, those rhymes, those pop artists to get you ready and primed to start buying that bad music as soon as you're able to start purchasing and stuff like that. So that's what they do for you.
Speaking of beats and rhymes, it's time for the ear to the doctor.
Yeah, let's bring it back one up here.
Some of that rhythm.
Hey, yo. Real quick, what he was saying was great. And when it comes to, I have to DJ and do kids parties sometimes, and I gotta play, the kids bop and stuff like that. But I have a brother named Willie Wow, and it's kind of hard to see the album, but he is a DJ that makes music for little kids and everything too. I'll bring him back up on the show too, because we definitely got to do some stuff for the kids. And it's all coming. Just like I said, stay tuned, BPM people out there. We got y'all. The word.
We're not. That is a good point. We are continuing to grow and expand, even as we've been spending the morning when we've lost. So that is a good point. And what between Devin and you said Willie Wow,
DJ Willie Wow. I mean, this guy has gone to the White House and done performances for kids and everything. It's great, and it's all music he's done songs about Martin Luther King, about Muhammad Ali and just doing teaching through his music and rapping. It's great. So we're gonna bring that. But
Yeah,
let's take a little break.
Yeah, right on. Remix Morning Show.
All right.
Black Power Media. Yeah. Remix Morning Show. Hey, I didn't look too much at the chat today, but I caught something. Brother Kenyatta, all due respect, how dare you suggest that go-go is not African because it's not polyrhythmic and it's too funk-based?
What?
First of all, funk music is as African and polyrhythmic as they get by itself. So that that part is itself ignorant. And you need to go read Ricky Vincent's book Funk Music, which goes through the genealogy from ancient Kemet through hip hop to show you. And if you, there is nothing more African or polyrhythmic than go-go music. Period on the planet. Check your facts. Get in the funk. Get in the water, as they say.
Yes. We're gonna have to hide the chats from Jared and Kalani. They all be claiming they're staying out the chats, but they can't keep themselves out the chats.
We're gonna blame
the Balagoon segment.
Are just too
chopping it up in the chats, arguing with people in the chats.
Well, I wasn't arguing. I was
jumping out the ring.
I was informing.
Jared's got the smoke protector on.
And yo, Jared.
I was like, what? What is that? Yeah.
Uncle Nearest on us, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
We need to go to one of our peaceful sisters like Sister Tyranny real quick because of the fact that y'all out of control. Where Tyranny at? That's what we need right now.
Let's get to Tyranny. We'll be right back with the remix.
Yeah.
Ooh, y'all silly.
Peace, Black Power Media family. This is Tierney Cherie from the African Esquire YouTube channel. I'm here with my weekly Pan-African mashup, and today we're going to start with what is happening inside of Nigeria. Many of you have probably heard that President Muhammadu Buhari in Nigeria has banned Twitter. And because of that, and because of the fact that it limits our communication, many of us have probably automatically jumped on the side of Twitter inside of this war. But I think some revelations that have come out really from the Twitter CEO, Jack Dorsey himself, is that he is looking at this as a means for economic gain. So while Muhammadu Buhari is obviously a Western puppet, is obviously someone who we have no love for in the revolution, we should also understand that these people are often allowed to be scapegoated and used in order to hide the imperialist interests of people like Jack Dorsey. If for him, he has been funding certain groups inside of Nigeria as a means to really fracture the movement against the government. And also he has been pushing Bitcoin inside of the region all the while. So these are things that we should understand, that these issues are not so black and white. Sometimes you have imperialist puppets going up against corporations, but don't think that those corporations are automatically on your side. In South Africa, the fight for land expropriation without compensation continues, and the EFF, being led by Julius Malema, has called out the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, because he has not gone forward with the plan to completely see a redistribution of land inside of a community trust. Instead, he's trying to allow for some private ownership. We know that allowing for some private ownership obviously leaves open given the possibility that you have European capitalists once again maintaining their dominance inside of the country of South Africa. So it seems that the South African government is not moving forward as quickly as we thought they were when it comes to land expropriation without compensation. And so we have to see, because the EFF is saying that if they try to do this hybrid model of allowing some private ownership, that they are not going to go forward and vote for the constitutional amendment, meaning the ANC would not have the votes to go forward, and this would essentially go back to the drawing board. And lastly, NATO met this past week. We know that NATO obviously consists of some European, very rich countries, which include the United States. The big problem that they wanted to talk about, though, was China and the growing influence that China has, not just with commerce, but also with military bases, particularly in the African continent. It's very interesting when you hear how NATO speaks about China and speaks about that they see them as a threat, because you see clearly that they're saying that we cannot allow for someone else to take the role that we have traditionally occupied it for the last 100 years of dominating the globe. So it's interesting to watch, and it's very important that we keep note that China and also Russia are going to be more and more used as the talking point for why the West has to be given more authority inside of the African continent or with African people abroad. And that's all I have for this week. If you want to see the full stories, you can watch them on my channel. And until then, I will see you all next week.
All right. Thanks to Sister Tierney for that update on the continent. And just quickly, we didn't have time to get to it today, but I have a commentary for cryptocurrency. I'll just do that tomorrow morning when we reconvene with I Mix What I Like. But as we wrap up this morning, Kalanji, what you got for us, man?
Hey, listen, man. You know, we've been talking. You know, the good brother Jared, the ear doctor, myself. You know, today is a very special day. You know, not only we honored, you know, our brother and comrade Baba Lukman in the building. You know what I'm saying? Kamal shaking his head like he know it's his birthday, and we know that in order for our brother to have a happy, very special birthday, we know that he, for the past week or so, he's been singing Prince songs, Purple Rain, and all that good stuff. So we had to dig deep, and we said, hey, man, what could we find that Kamal may love? So what we did is we went and found some of his yearbook pictures. So I'm going to pull it up real quick and see if you all can see this yearbook. Bear with me because of my technical difficulties. But here it is. This is Kamal's yearbook picture right here. You know what I'm saying? We know he's a major Prince fan. So I wanted to look out for my brother on his birthday. This is courtesy of Dr. Jared Ball, ear doctor, and yours truly.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Y'all supposed to sing that Stevie Wonder happy birthday. Y'all know what time it is.
We was gonna sing the Prince
That's
version.
right.
I'm gonna take it off the screen real quick so we can see Kamal blush. I mean, see a little chest and everything.
The end of time. I'll be there for you.
Happy birthday.
I actually got that picture myself. I actually think I did a couple of poses on that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We
my
saw it.
goodness.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Y'all hilarious. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
the chest hairs. You know what I mean? So we had to look out for our brother. You know what I mean? We couldn't just leave this on a solemn note.
Happy birthday, bro. For
Yeah,
real.
happy born
doubt.
day.
Happy
Shout
birthday.
out to your family. They got to put up with you. And,
No
yeah. Thanks for all
65
your work
years.
here. Yeah.
You look good for 65, brother.
Oh shit. Shots fired. Shots fired.
45. For to be accurate, 45-ish.
Oh, yeah.
45-ish.
Plus 20. Right.
Oh, we just a whole bunch of lies around here. Anyway, hey,
man.
rest in power to Baba Lukman. Shout out to everybody that came through this morning, on and off record, on and off air. Big thanks to Sister May, Ear Doctor, everybody in the chat and the comment, and all of our colleagues and comrades at BPM. We appreciate you, man. I'll be back with the I Mix What I Like tomorrow. Kim is on tomorrow. Burn It Down. We will have Renegade Culture tomorrow, and some form of tribute on the last dope intellectual. So please do stick around and come through. And
Matter
again,
of fact,
thanks,
I think
everybody.
we'll have a Riot Starter TV tomorrow as well.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I got to jump back in the ring. You know what I mean?
It is right.
And Juneteenth on Saturday. If you get up early with me.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Wait a minute. Wait. We're doing our special whatever,
live
right?
broadcast.
We're gonna have a special live broadcast of Juneteenth featuring Dr. Ieli Ichile. So it is on my calendar. I just did not remember to say it. So thank you very much.
Ieli, tell the people where you're going to be at. Especially
I'm going to be in Baltimore at the pier, 5:30 a.m.
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
Go be get up early.
Yeah, mostly I will just watch the replay. I get that. It's
nah, get up. You can't be sleeping late for freedom. You can't be late. The whole point is people being late to freedom, right? That's the whole point.
That's right. We're trying to watch the sunrise on our freedom like our ancestors did.
That's right.
Anyway,
that's right.
We're gonna pour some more out for Baba Lukman. Shout out again to him and everybody else. Sister Jackie, we love you, and we
love
you,
got
Jackie
your back. Lukman. Love you, Jackie Lukman.
Love
you,
Jackie, everybody. Thanks again. Remix Morning Show, Black Power Media.
We out here.